If we take the lines away, the most interesting star I think that could be shocking in our sky is this one, Metal G or Betelgeuse. It's a red giant star. If you put it where the Sun is, it would extend out to the orbit of Jupiter. It's enormous, it's very unstable, it's about to explode. It's not as simple as it seems in the universe. These huge events like the most feared enormous starburst could shake everything we see and don't see to its core. But Betelgeuse has found a sign, a red supergiant star that is 764 times bigger than our Sun. Brian Cox and other astronomers think it could go supernova at any time. People are mostly afraid of what will happen because the James Webb Space Telescope is taking shocking pictures of the star. When exactly will Betelgeuse become a star, and how big of an effect will it have on Earth? Let us find out. A star in the constellation Orion shines so brightly that even people from long ago have seen it. The well-known star Betelgeuse is located on the eastern shoulder of the constellation Orion. Betelgeuse is the second largest star in the constellation Orion. Its name comes from this feature, the giant shoulder. It is one of the brightest stars in the sky at night. On top of being very bright, the star is also a strange shade of red, which, as we will see, is a sign of trouble. We've known about Betelgeuse for a long time. A Greek scientist named Timmy also studied it. At that time, the only thing people knew about stars was their color. Timmy said that Betelgeuse was an orange color. Scientists have been studying this star even more closely lately and now have a good idea of what makes it so strangely bright. One of these traits is that the star changes brightness a lot with an apparent magnitude of 0.6. Betelgeuse is a variable star, which means that its motion changes over time. But recently, experts have learned something new about the star. In 2019, scientists first noticed that Betelgeuse was acting oddly. Even though Betelgeuse didn't fully stop glowing, it wasn't the same because it had become much less bright, shining at a magnitude of about 1.6. Scientists quickly began to look into why they were seeing the 10th brightest star in the sky in this strange way. Scientists have had to make a scary statement based on their research, which culminated in the strange signs the star has recently shown. Scientists say that Betelgeuse could go supernova at any time. Brian Cox is a well-known scientist who made this very dangerous statement. As a well-known professor of particle physics at the University of Manchester School of Physics and Astronomy, you shouldn't take his attitude for a joke. He also hosts a science show, writes many well-known science books, and is the Royal Society Professor for Public Engagement in Science. Brian Cox says Betelgeuse is like a ticking time bomb because it could go off at any moment. To make matters worse, the James Webb Space Telescope has shown a huge amount of evidence to back up this statement. But what strange signs has Betelgeuse given that have caused so much trouble in space science? Based on new information about Betelgeuse, the star has been labeled as a supernova, but scientists are still not sure when it will explode. The fact that Betelgeuse is about 15 times the mass of the Sun is one reason for this classification. A star only needs to be about 8 times the mass of the Sun to be called a supernova. Things get more interesting, though. For this reason, scientists have used many tools to look into Betelgeuse, such as the James Webb Space Telescope and the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, to watch what's happening in space around Betelgeuse. And what they found is still interesting. The Sun was born on August 31st, 6 billion years ago. At that time, the star Betelgeuse was seen to be showing strange signs that made its future unclear. What did they find, though? They could pick up strange light waves coming from the star Orion in the direction of Betelgeuse. That is very strange, but it wasn't the only thing experts saw from the star. This brings us back to the idea that Betelgeuse is a star whose brightness changes. Sometimes it was said that Betelgeuse dimmed down every 430 days and had dark spots just like our Sun. Today, though, things are different. It changes from bright to dim twice as fast as it used to, which is another strange sign that Betelgeuse is back. Scientists found that the star's dimming cycle had hit a V-band brightness of plus 1.61 in February 2021. This was very soon after the huge dimming event. Remember how the star seemed to dim in a strange way in 2019? That's what we're talking about because that's what it's mostly known as, the Great Dimming. We could see that the Great Dimming was the start of Betelgeuse's strange behavior and made a lot of people worry that Betelgeuse was going to explode. The range of dimming was 1.2 between 2019 and 2020, and the lowest level of dimming ever recorded was in 2019. So experts were sure that Betelgeuse would go supernova in the next 100,000 years because of the Great Dimming. There is a lot going on in the universe, so this is pretty scary. Scientists quickly changed their minds, though, when they saw what happened next. Betelgeuse got brighter again after the Great Fading and turned into something even more striking. Astrophysicist Andrea Dupree at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics says that the star is now 150% brighter than normal. This makes it the seventh brightest star in the sky right now. Scientists were scared when they saw a red glow in the sky's southern hemisphere today. Still, it gets more interesting because this has led to a lot of different ideas about what caused the Great Dimming. We're going to explain. First, it's important to note that not all stars have the red glow of Betelgeuse. The red glow of Betelgeuse is a sign of a red supergiant star, which is the last stage of a star's life and death. The red glow, on the other hand, is surprisingly caused by a surface temperature of about 3,500 Kelvin, which is much cooler than the surface of the Sun, which is 5,500 Kelvin. Because Betelgeuse is cooler than our Sun, it gives off less energy per unit of surface area, even though it is bigger and about to blow up. Now let's talk about what the Great Dimming was like. Brian Cox says, does it mean that Betelgeuse is about to go supernova? Actually, the fact that Betelgeuse is a red supergiant already proved that it is almost done with its life as a star. A star that is dying will also usually dim over time, which is something that scientists agree on. Even so, Betelgeuse's recent strange behavior made scientists even more worried, and many telescopes are now studying the star. As you can see from these many studies, some experts don't think Betelgeuse is about to go supernova because of the Great Dimming. One of the tools used to look at Betelgeuse and try to figure out what caused the huge dimming event was the Hubble Space Telescope. The studies done with this camera were sure to amaze everyone because they showed a different reason for the dimming, besides the star possibly being about to go supernova. Scientists learned from the Hubble Space Telescope that the Great Dimming was caused by a large amount of hot matter being thrown off the surface of Betelgeuse. Because this release was so big, it made a cloud of dust that blocked the star's light and made it look like it was fading. A different reason for the Great Dimming came from what the VLT High Observatory in Chile saw. In this case, the telescope concluded that the star's surface temperature had dropped by 170 Kelvin during the Great Dimming. However, it turned out that the dust cloud seen by the Hubble Space Telescope had nothing to do with the weather change. As an alternative, they thought that dark spots were to blame for the Great Dimming in Betelgeuse. The cool dark spot was said to be very big and had formed for a short time on the star's surface, which caused the Great Dimming. A huge camera in Chile was also used to try to figure out what happened during the Great Dimming. In the end, it turned out that both of the past answers were correct. Based on this third interpretation, the theory says that the giant dark spot and cloud dust had big parts in the Great Dimming. In this case, it was because a dark spot had formed on the star's surface in the southern hemisphere, which caused the temperature around it to drop. To make matters worse, the star spat out a bubble of hot gas. The Great Dimming event happened because of a huge cloud of dust that formed over the star's surface. In light of these scientific ideas, it is clear that scientists think Betelgeuse is about to go supernova. But there are other explanations for its strange behavior, such as the Great Dimming. Still, things get more interesting because experts still don't know everything about Betelgeuse. Scientists are now using the most cutting-edge tools to keep an eye on the interesting things going on around Betelgeuse. The James Webb Space Telescope has been one of the best tools scientists have used so far to study Betelgeuse supernova events. As of right now, the James Webb Space Telescope is the most powerful space telescope in the world. This method still looks very promising for giving science more information about how Betelgeuse behaves. As scientists use the James Webb Space Telescope to look at Betelgeuse, it's clear that even the smallest information about the star and its possible supernova events is becoming very interesting. We will have to wait to find out more about what will happen to Betelgeuse. To put the size of our universe into perspective, consider that 1 light-year is roughly 5.88 trillion miles. Betelgeuse, at 725 light-years away, is more than 4,267 trillion miles distant from our planet. This enormous separation provides a degree of cosmic insulation, and any direct physical harm to Earth from the explosion itself is extremely unlikely. Thanks for watching this episode of Don't Miss the Video you see on your screen. You won't believe it.